All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Weekly Gridiron. We are your hosts, Adam,
Dante,
and
Luke, back for week 3.
Yes, sir. A little bit different this time. We are recording on a Wednesday instead of a Monday. Certain circumstances. We had to be away from campus for a little while, but we're back. And today, a little different because we're recording on a Wednesday. There's not going to be a Monday Night Football preview at the end, but we will recap the score of the past Monday's Monday Night Football game. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. Let's go to some Week 4 predictions. Hard to believe it's Week 4 already. I still feel like the season just started.
Right.
So let's get started. Thursday Night Football. It's actually being played tomorrow night. We have the Dolphins heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. That game is at 8:15. It's not called Paul Brown Stadium anymore. I forget what it's called now. But
Paycor Stadium. Horrible name.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
The Dolphins are 3-0. The Bengals just got their first win. You'd think I'm rocking with Miami, but I'm not. I'll explain why.
Oh.
I feel like I'm not going to say Miami has had a fluky start, but I feel like since he's at home, they just came off a nice win. They're rocking those white helmets with the white jerseys. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I think since he's getting a very close win here.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Miami is just on a hot streak right now. They beat the best team in football, in my opinion, in the Buffalo Bills last week. Luke, you may disagree with me, but that's where I'm at. Yeah, I think Miami's going to come out. It's not going to be a clean game. It's going to be dirty. They're playing an AFC North opponent. And yeah, I think Tua's going to come out. He's going to have a pretty good game. And then, yeah, the Dolphins are going to win this one.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. I would like to see the Bengals win this game. Of course, being a Patriots fan, I'd like to see the Dolphins lose always. And I actually think the Bengals might win, but I'll just go with my gut and say the Dolphins.
Fair.
Okay, all right. I'm the only one taking Cincy, but that's okay. Moving on to a bit of a maybe closer game. On Sunday, we have our first London game of the year.
Nice.
The Vikings are taking on the Saints. I don't know what the London Stadium's called. Let's see if it tells you here.
Is it Wembley? Is it Wembley Stadium?
Something like it just disappeared. Oh, yeah. Northumberland Development Project? Who knows?
Speaking of the opposite, I saw the one of the World Cup final games is being played in AT&T Stadium in Dallas.
Oh, yeah?
That's crazy.
In Jerryland, so
That's crazy.
it's kind of awkward, but it's crazy.
I went there one time. It was very nice.
Yeah.
My dad's been to AT&T, too.
So cool. I loved it.
Yeah, anyway, on to the prediction. Luke, I'll let you start. Who do you got winning this game?
I have the Vikings winning this game. I don't even know, is Jameis Winston hurt right now?
I saw he might be, but I'm not sure. I have a feeling he'll still
Either
play.
way, it's been kind of sad. He hasn't looked very good. I like Jameis Winston. I like his personality, but he just hasn't looked very good. I don't think the Saints have looked very impressive. And the Vikings they haven't been great, but they're 2-1. And that 3-1 is going to look good next week.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Luke. I'm going to rock with the Vikings. I mean, last week, Jameis had what you call a Jameis week, and the Saints did not play well. I'll certainly get into that. But I'm going to rock with my gut here. I'm going to go with the Vikings on the road. They've been playing really good football so far, except for that game against the Eagles. So I think they're going to continue it and get the win here against the Saints in London.
Yeah, Vikings for sure. I don't think I need to elaborate much there.
All right, fair. First sweep of the episode. Moving on to the 1 p.m. slate on Sunday, we've got the Seattle Seahawks heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. And I don't think I'm going to waste any time here. The Seahawks have not looked that impressive except for their Week 1 win. Detroit's been a sneaky team so far. They almost beat Minnesota this past week. That being said, I think I'm going to take the Lions at home to rebound.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Lions for sure. I mean, they're just on paper, they're the better team. They should have won last week. They kind of blew it, but I think playing the Seahawks is a much safer game than playing the Vikings.
For sure.
I'm going to go Lions as well. 2 1-2 teams stacking up. I think the Lions have the better QB. They have the slightly better offense, even though DK Metcalf is due for a really good game. I think they probably have the better defense. Jeff Okudah has been playing lockdown at the corner position.
Love to see.
So especially at home, give me the Lions in this game.
Where's DK Metcalf been all season? I feel like I haven't heard his name one time.
Yeah, poor guy. His quarterback is Geno Smith, so
Yeah, true.
it's rough.
Anyways, moving on. next one, Jets and Steelers in Pittsburgh, Acrisure Stadium. Dante, you're the big Steeler fan here, or the biggest, I should say, so I'm going to let you make your pick first.
Now, I'm not insanely confident that.
May I just say something real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if either of you saw, but Zach Wilson is returning this week.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
In all likelihood, he is.
Yeah. So, and that kind of impacts my decision here.
It should, yeah.
So, I'm gonna roll with my gut. This is not me being a homer, but I do think the Steelers are gonna get one of the Steeler-style wins where it comes down to the last second, and we're gonna pull it out. And then all the Steelers fans are going to act like we're going to the Super Bowl again. But it's just, I don't know. I don't have much faith in Zach Wilson, especially against the Steelers secondary. Even though Minkah Fitzpatrick is in concussion protocol, even with that, I still think the Steelers are going to get a sneaky win here. We're gonna shut down their run game. They may get a few yards through the air, but other than that, I think the Steelers are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I agree. I'm picking the Steelers in this game. Hot take, but Zach Wilson is going to be a downgrade from Joe Flacco.
That's what I was thinking, honestly.
Joe Flacco, in his old age, knows the Steelers. That might have not given him much of an advantage anymore because it's been years since he's been with the Ravens. But it's still the Jets, and while I think this is dangerous for the Steelers, they really can't afford to lose this game, especially with their schedule coming up. I think Mike Tomlin will just get, like you were saying, I think he'll just get one of those Mike Tomlin wins.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay. I did just see our friend Zach Nitchie will be attending this game.
Oh, nice.
So good for him. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. For my upset of the week, give me the Jets, Jets.
Is that really an upset, though?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers are the better team.
Yeah, I guess.
My reasoning behind this is I love the Steelers, but their offense has not looked that great lately.
Oh, agreed, for sure.
Under Matt Canada. And I feel like the Jets, if they play like they did against Cleveland, they might come out with a win, and I think they're going to.
Oh, bro, I'm terrified of Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
I'm so scared.
True, but I will say I saw something today about how last year Elijah Moore had his really, really good games when Zach Wilson is out. So it makes me wonder if Garrett Wilson is going to have the same level of production now that Zach Wilson's in at QB, and it makes me think he might not.
A lot of question marks for sure.
We'll see. Moving on, we've got the Bears and the Giants. A bit of a closer game again at MetLife next Sunday at 1. And I guess I'll start this one off.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to roll with the Bears and my boy Justin Fields, but that team has just been so questionable. I get they're 2-1, but they barely let the guy throw the ball. And when he has been throwing the ball, he hasn't looked that great, which is unfortunate to see. And the Giants, they've looked sneaky good so far. They almost got a Monday Night Football win to go to 3-0. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Give me the Giants. They're going to start 3-1.
Yeah. Luke, do you want to go or you want me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, give me the Giants, too. Justin Fields didn't look good at all last week, to the point where some people are starting to call him the worst starting quarterback in the league currently. While I don't know if that's fair to him, I don't know that it's completely wrong at this current moment. Daniel Jones certainly isn't very good either, but Saquon is playing well. They're a well-coached team right now. They have a good defense. The Bears are just good enough to have barely won the games that they've won. You could probably say the same for the Giants, but in the case of these two teams, give me the Giants as well.
Yeah, before we picked this game, I was kind of leaning towards the Bears here, but then it hit me that the Bears have put Justin Fields just in a box. They're not letting him do anything. They're not letting him throw the ball. He's a handoff machine.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Kind of like Mac Jones against the Bills in that one game.
Right. Yeah,
but
he is in a box. I watched some tape, and he did miss some reads.
Yeah.
Last game, but he's certainly.
They
haven't opened up the playbook.
Yeah,
for him.
they're really not giving him a chance to just be him because at Ohio State he was just him and he made incredible plays.
That's what I've been saying. Like, the dude is incredible at throwing the ball. He was in college, but you won't get to see it. You won't get to see any of his deep balls unless they let him throw it, and they're not letting him throw it.
And the guy's tough. You see him; he took a shot to the ribs in what I don't even know if that was a national championship game. I know it was a college football playoff.
It
game.
was semifinal Clemson.
Yeah.
That was.
But the guy's tough. He has grit. But the Bears are not giving them a chance, and with that, I don't think they're going to give them a chance this week. And I'm rolling with the Giants here.
Yep. All right, clean sweep there. Moving on to a divisional matchup. These two are rivals, and it's fun to see them play every time. We've got the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium, also known as the home of the Big Ten Championship game. We'll see who plays there later this year.
Best division in football.
Yes, sir. But I've been thinking about this game. I think I know who I'm going to go with, but I want to see who you guys pick first.
I'll go first here. For me, this is my upset of the week. I'm rolling with the Titans here. I think the Titans are going to come out. They're going to surprise a lot of people. Jonathan Taylor hasn't been insane this year so far. I mean, week 1 he had a pretty solid game, but other than that, he's been pretty quiet. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that the Titans are going to come out and they're going to win this game.
I think I'm going to go with the Titans as well.
Oh, okay.
I've gone with the Colts 1 or 2 times, and they've disappointed me every single time, I think. And Derrick Henry woke up week 3. He had 25-something points, I think, against the Raiders.
Thank
and
God.
That's enough. That's enough against the Colts. They would need Jonathan Taylor to wake up, which he very well might, but he hasn't yet. And these two teams aren't very impressive in a division that, honestly, it's funny. Are we going to see the Jags run away with this division? Who knows?
We might.
I would love that.
We'll get to their impressive win in a minute, but the Colts and I'm a little flustered. The Colts and Titans, not the most exciting game, but give me the Titans.
Yeah, it's not my upset of the week, but I'm going to agree with both of you. I'm going to take the Titans in this game. I thought about rocking with the Colts, but that team has just looked so questionable so far, and you don't know what Colts team you're going to see. I mean, they just had their first win of the year, shockingly, this weekend. But the 2 weeks before, they looked pretty bad. So you don't know what Colts team you're going to get. Meanwhile, Tennessee last week just looked like a totally different team. They pretty much easily took care of Vegas. So I think that team could return this weekend in Indianapolis. Like Luke was saying, Derrick Henry could have a big game, and I think the Titans are going to take this one.
Yeah.
All right, next game we got to predict. We got the Chargers and the Texans in Houston. I'll get this one started. Last week with the Chargers and the Jaguars, I guess there was some belief that Jacksonville could win because of Herbert's injury. Jacksonville is a lot different of a team than Houston. This time around, I don't think there's any question that LA can win this game. No matter if Herbert or their backup QB, I forget who it is. Is it Chase Daniel, I think? No matter who plays,
yeah,
I think the Chargers will take this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree for sure. I think the Chargers are just a pissed off team right now, and they're going to come in. They're going to mutilate the Texans in this game on their home field. So yeah, the Chargers are going to win this one. Absolutely.
Yeah, as much as it would be fun to go with the Texans, I'll go with the Chargers. Even though I think there is a shot that the Texans can pull this off, but it shouldn't happen like that 2 weeks in a row when we saw the Jags just did it. The Chargers are still a little banged up. I'm not sure if guys like J.C. Jackson are going to play, but it still is just the Texans. And for as much as the Chargers are concerning, the Texans are just as bad. So I'll go with the Chargers.
All right, so we're all going with the Chargers on that one. Kind of a no-brainer pick.
Yeah.
Maybe on to another no-brainer game here. We've got the Browns and the Falcons in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Luke, get us started. Who do you got winning?
That's not a no-brainer, and I'll lock in my upset of the week and go with the Falcons.
Wow, nice.
I don't know. The Browns, they're looking decent, sure. But, any given Sunday, I just think the Falcons could have a good game. The Browns did lose that one game to the Jets. They're not invincible. The Falcons could come out at home and do it. Cordell Patterson just had a masterclass of a game week 3. They're a little pumped up. They just got a high-scoring win against Seattle, so they could do it. At home, I see them beating the Browns.
Yeah. You guys know how much of a Browns hater I am, but Luke, I'm going to disagree with you. I think the Browns running game is just too good. I think Amari Cooper is waking up. I think he's going to have a comeback season. And yeah, I think the Browns are going to beat the Falcons here pretty comfortably.
Yeah, sorry, Luke. I'm going to disagree with you as well.
Luke, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Yeah.
I don't hope so because I hate the Falcons, but I'm not going to overthink this one. I think Cleveland will get the win, even though it's still Jacoby Brissett. I think, like Dante said, the run game is too good, and I think they'll run all over Atlanta's defense.
Yeah.
Next game, we got another divisional matchup. The Washington Commanders heading into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Another one that I'm not going to overthink, and that's because of two things. Based on last year, Dallas just owned Washington. And number two, Cooper Rush has looked like that guy so far. So I'm going to rock with the Cowboys at home.
Now, this could be... I could get memed on next week for not believing in the Cooper Rush train. But I just think... I believe in Carson Wentz more than I believe in Cooper Rush.
That may be a hot take these days.
That could be a hot take.
I'm not sure about that.
But I also believe in Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Antonio Gibson. However, I do love Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
This is tough, man. You know what? I'm switching it up. Give me Dallas. I'm taking Dallas here.
Yeah.
I think the defense is just too good. I love Micah Parsons. I love Trayvon Diggs. I like Leighton Vander Esch. I think the Cowboys are actually going to get this one done. I was leaning Commanders first, but I'm going Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going to triple down. Every time they've played in the past couple years, the Cowboys have destroyed them. And while circumstances are a little bit different, they're not a ton different. And Cooper Rush, 3-0 as a starter, I say he makes it 4-0.
That would be crazy if he starts 4-0.
This is sneaky, bro. I don't know.
I'm not saying Cooper Rush is any good. I'm saying it's the Commanders.
Yeah, that's true.
If Cooper Rush gets one more win, I feel like Jerry Jones might want to have a competition between him and Dak for the Week 5
Someone
start.
did ask him that.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah, someone did ask him that. They're like, if Cooper Rush continues to play well, are you open to a QB competition? And Jerry Jones, of course I am. Of course I am.
Imagine Dak gets back and they just tell him, sorry, you're not the starter anymore. Cooper Rush took your job.
Oh.
And they're just paying $40 million to a backup.
Man, honestly, I love Dak. I really do. I like him. I mean, he puts everything on the line for that Cowboys team.
Yeah.
Man.
Luke's looking up Cooper Rush's salary.
So imagine, quarterback competition between your $40 million man and your 2-year, $2 million guy. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Hey, hidden gem.
It's what the Cowboys need, I think.
That's kind of the equivalent of Jordan Love versus Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush might just be the best backup QB in the NFL. Let's be real here.
No, that's Kenny Pickett.
Oh, it's really Gardner Minshew.
No, we're about to see that it's probably not Brian Hoyer.
It's actually P.J. Walker. Okay, moving on.
Landry Jones.
Steelers legend. Anyway, next game we got the Jaguars heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. Both teams had big wins in Week 3. And while I love what the Jaguars are doing right now, I think they're a great team. Actually, I think they're very sneaky. But Philly is just a different animal. They're one of two remaining undefeated teams in the league, and I think they're going to keep it going. They're going to go to 4-0. Give me the Eagles at home.
This one's tough. I just don't think we could dismiss how bad the Jaguars beat the Chargers last week. I just don't think we could brush past that. Hot take, the Eagles are frauds. Jags are winning this game. I don't care. There's really nothing the Eagles have done that has impressed me that much, besides Devontae Smith, but their defense is mediocre. Their offense is okay. The Jags are going into Lincoln Financial Field, and they're beating this Eagles team.
That would be crazy.
You know what? Honestly, I was thinking about it. I was thinking, can I find some reasoning to go with the Jaguars? Because why not? It would be fun. But, Dante, you filled in for me and gave the listeners every dose of Eagles slander that they needed. For a 3-0 team, you made my mind up. I'll just go with my gut and say the Eagles are going to continue rolling.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville, like I said, sneaky team, but it's hard to pick against the 3-0 squad. Especially, like, last week I openly picked the Commanders, and I watched part of that game, and I just regretted it.
I was the only one who picked the Eagles that game.
Yeah.
And people, like, hated all week on my predictions, like, why did you pick Washington? I was thinking, I don't know, I needed an upset pick, and that was not a good upset pick. So I'm not making the same mistake this week. Anyway, next game. This could potentially be the game of the year.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be watching this.
Bills heading to the bank to take on the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, my two MVP favorites.
Two top teams right now. Lamar versus Josh Allen. Both great defenses.
Neither are the MVP. That belongs to Mitchell Trubisky.
MVP.
Soon to be MVP, but it's fine.
All right, anyway, for my pick, I thought about this a long time. But I think I'm going to roll with Josh Allen on the road. I know the Bills are a little beat up right now on that defense, but I'm going to roll with them. I think they're going to rebound, get a big win here in Baltimore. Wee Hoopin's going to be upset. I'm going to take the Bills.
Luke, you're up next because I'm still deciding here. I don't know.
Yeah, so am I, dude. So let's...
We could do a first in WG history. We can go predict the next game and then come back if you guys are seriously
let's talk about it for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So,
I'll let you guys in on it. Go ahead.
So the Bills this past week, the Dolphins, it was kind of a low-scoring game, whereas the Ravens let the Dolphins put up 40. But they held Tyreek Hill to 5 points. They kind of hurt Tua, so that might have a thing to do with it, but he didn't look fantastic. I forget who the Bills. Oh wait, who the Ravens play this week?
Ravens played the. Who'd they play? Ravens played the Patriots.
Your squad.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah, and actually, you know what? That game was a little closer than it could have been. We can talk about that game a little later. But I thought the Patriots held their own for the first 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, I don't want to get into. But that wasn't as big of a test for them as Miami was for the Bills, and I know that they do not want to start 2-2. So I made my pick, and I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be reminiscent of the classic Chiefs versus Rams on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be
I hope so.
It's going to be an absolute shootout because the Ravens' defense is better than the Bills.
It's close.
Yeah.
Those are 2 really good units.
No, I just think this game is too close to let it be a clean sweep. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here.
Yeah, respect.
Especially at the bank.
True.
Bills playing 2 tough teams on the road back to back.
That is a good atmosphere to play in for home. That's true.
And 2 road games back to back against tough teams. I think this will be too much for the Bills. I love Josh Allen. I love the Bills, but give me the Ravens here.
You know what? And I'm close, but I'm not going to change my pick. They could start out like the Chiefs last year, where I forget what the Chiefs started out. Weren't they like
not
4?
great?
They were very average.
They
were something.
This is tough, bro. But I'm going with the Ravens here. I'm going with my gut.
I'm sticking with Buffalo, Luke. Whatever you want to do.
All right, I'm going to switch.
Yay!
I'm going to switch. Ravens at home.
Yeah.
That's going to play a big factor for me because I know Baltimore is a tough atmosphere.
Yes, for sure.
Tough atmosphere. I'm going to switch.
All right. Next game, because I'm staying. We've got my little Super Bowl because we always win this game. And I'm not going to waste any time with my pick here. We got the Cardinals and the Panthers. The Panthers have owned the Cardinals for years. For years. Since football was invented. Since football became a sport. Since Super Bowl era was a thing. Since Penn State Beaver has existed.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a very long time. I'm picking Carolina. In fact, this is not even my upset of the week because we beat them so much. Give me the Panthers at home. We're going to improve to 2-2. We're getting back to 500. Keep pounding.
Not if I go.
Go for it, bud.
Yeah, because I have something on mind. I'm sorry, Adam, but this year we've seen a couple things like this shift. The Saints are supposed to own the Bucs. The Bucs are supposed to own the Packers. There's been too many games like this where, what you think history tells you, you just can't bet on it all the time. So I'm just not going to bet on it. The Cardinals have looked a little better than the Panthers, so I'm just going to go with the Cardinals. Sorry, Adam.
It's okay. It's okay.
Man, this one's tough. This one is definitely going to be closer than everybody assumes. My heart is saying Panthers, but my mind is saying Cardinals. And with these predictions, I'm going to go with my mind here. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Adam, you could laugh in our face if we're wrong.
If you were right, and you might be, then good on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, here's my thinking. I picked the Cardinals last year, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to make the same mistake again.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
want to be right this time. Every year when we play the Cardinals, I feel like we're going to lose and we end up winning. So I don't want to be wrong this year.
Buddy, I hope you're right. It is at home. It is at B of A. Is that
Yes,
what's
sir.
called? B of A?
The B of A. And Dante's right. Don't forget, Matt Rule, win or lose, loves to keep these games close.
Absolutely.
So
Mike
it
Tomlin-esque.
will be a close game. Yes, sir. Mike Tomlin-esque. All right. You guys ready to pick the next game?
Yes, sir.
We've got a divisional matchup, the Broncos versus the Raiders, Allegiant Stadium. Dante, get us started. Who do you got winning?
The Broncos just look bad. The Broncos do not look good. Won an ugly game last week. It was a win, but I don't think this is totally Russell Wilson's fault because I love Russell Wilson. I think he's a top 20 quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Raiders are going to get their first win here. They're going to improve to 1-3, and they're going to win comfortably. I'm talking like I don't even know, like 23-10 game. The Raiders are going to come out and they're going to win this one at home. Devontae Adams going to have his game.
All right, Luke. I'll go with the Raiders too. A little ill-advised. I feel like I shouldn't be picking them. Josh McDaniels and Nathaniel Hackett, the battle of rookie head coaches.
Well, Josh McDaniels isn't a rookie head coach.
Well,
don't forget.
Okay. He might as well be by how bad
he acts like it.
Fun fact: he used to coach Denver.
Yeah,
and
right.
he did a pretty bad job there too.
As a Patriots fan, I always forget about that because I just have my nightmares from when he was our OC. Even though I wouldn't mind him back. Anyways, the Raiders, they won't go 0-17, so something has to give. And I think it'll be this game. Because the Broncos, 3-1 on paper makes them look way better than they actually are.
Yeah.
So I just don't even want to see that happen.
I'm going to triple down with you boys. I'm going to make it a Raiders pick.
Have we clean sweep the Raiders twice and been wrong? I think we have.
Yeah.
Let me check.
I'm not sure. But
Swap.
I'm going to go with this because, like Dante said, the Broncos have just looked pretty bad as a whole. Whether you blame that all on Russell Wilson or Nathaniel Hackett or part way, either way. The Raiders, I think they've had a pretty crappy start. I still think that offense is great. The defense needs to wake up a little bit, but I think they will this week. They're due for a big win. I think they're going to get it. Raiders fans, be patient a little while longer. I think this Sunday is going to be your week to get your first win of the season. Give me the Raiders.
But if it's not, maybe it has something to do with us because we have all picked the Raiders every single time, boys. Maybe it's us.
Who have they? They lost to the Cardinals. Who else they lose to? Lost to the Titans and Chargers and Cardinals.
Okay, I just want to say one thing. Whether they win or lose, they play the Chiefs next week.
I'm
just going to reveal right now. I will not be picking.
0-5. I'm definitely picking the Raiders because 0-5 would be their season's over if they're 0-5.
Yeah, for sure.
1-4 is bad. But
imagine they start 0-5.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway,
mid-season fire.
Yeah. Next game, Patriots and the Packers at Lambeau, 4:25. Luke, do you want to pick, or do you want me to start?
My answer's gonna be short, so just go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, Luke. Lock of the week. Considering Mac Jones won't be playing, I'm gonna go with the Packers at home. That's really all I gotta say.
Yeah, it's not my lock of the week. My lock of the week's the Chargers over the Texans, but you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely Packers here. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna play pretty well. I like the Patriots defense. They showed us up. They showed the Steelers up. So I can't talk crap at all. But yeah, I think the Packers, especially in a hostile environment like Lambeau, they're going to come out and they're going to win.
I'm just going to say, if Mac Jones was healthy, I was going to pick the Patriots.
Fair.
But just because, well, I don't even know now since he's not healthy, but our upcoming schedule after Green Bay is a fairly easy one. It could be a similar year to last year, start 1-3. We had a 7-game winning streak last year and then pull a 2020 Steelers and fall off at the end. But
Luke, I didn't say anything to you, bro.
All right. Sorry, bro. I had to.
You could have said pull in every year Panthers.
Sorry. Or I'll say pull in every year Cliff Kingsbury and fall off at the end.
Fair.
All right, fair.
But with that being said, obviously I can't go with the Patriots until I see if Brian Hoyer has enough brain cells to throw the football 30 yards.
Hey, if you start Bailey Zapp, you win this game.
But we aren't going. Bill said like literally a half hour ago that Brian Hoyer's the guy, and we can get to it. But I'm concerned because Mac Jones wants to be out 6 to 8 weeks. The Patriots want him back in 4, and they're talking in language like Bill literally said. He's like, if Mac Jones can't go this week, Brian Hoyer's the guy. What the hell are you talking about? He has a high ankle. Yeah, he's not going to go for at least a month. So yeah. This team worries me.
Hey, Cam Newton is available.
Oh my God!
So am I.
Imagine
really,
he comes into Gillette Stadium. I'm back.
And then proceeds to throw what, like 5 for 25?
Hey, As long as he's a starter on a
20
team,
years
I'm happy. I don't care how
he
does.
can start in the XFL.
If you own a Patriots jersey and live in the Boston area, be at Gillette Stadium for practice.
I own a Cam Newton Patriots.
I
I'm
should
just
be
saying.
You could probably play better. All right, let's move.
All right, fine. All right, Sunday Night Football next week. I was almost going to say Sunday Night Baseball. Sunday Night Football. We've got a Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes. It's always a classic. Although I'm going to give my reasoning behind my pick here. I feel like this is very similar to last week. I said Green Bay was the much better team on paper based on who's healthy, who's playing well, all that. And I picked Tom Brady and the Bucs because I felt like that was the type of game they could win. They didn't win. This week I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to pick the Chiefs on the road. I think they're going to win, and the Bucs are going to be 2-2. They're going to be 2-2. Give me the Chiefs.
Now, do either of you guys know what's the situation on their wide receivers? If they're going to be back or not?
Oh, well, okay.
So Mike Evans is back.
I lied. Mike Evans is back.
Should be.
Godwin, I'm not sure.
Julio Jones probably not.
Julio Jones, considering his injury history, probably not. And then the rest of them, they should be back.
This is tough, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. I think I'm going to agree. I have more faith in them to I don't know, just on the road. I don't know. The Bucs did not impress me. Putting up 12 points last week. Like, come on, man. You gotta do way better than that. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs here, even though they did lose to the Colts.
Oh, right, yeah. Now, the way that the Bucs offense has looked has really worried me. But I'm going to blindly follow my instincts and bet Tom Brady until I'm blue in the face. So.
Fair.
Sure, I'll go with the Bucs this week. I'd like to see them start 3-1. You know, they're going to win that division, but I don't even want to see them get challenged. So.
All right, moving on to our Monday Night Football prediction. Since it features his favorite team, I'm gonna lay Dean out on the phone. I have a picture of Dean showing. If anyone doesn't know Dean, it's our dog. He's a diehard Rams fan. For for the Monday Night Football game next week, we've got the Rams and the 49ers in San Francisco. And all I'm going to say is, Dean, I'm rocking with your army. Give me the Rams. Let's ram it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Rams for sure here. This could be a close game, but I think Rams are going for sure. There's Dean. Where's Millie at, though?
Well, here she is.
I don't think she's a favorite team.
I'll have to pick one for her.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Millie's a Steeler fan.
I'll go with Rams, too.
Yeah.
Not going to say much, just...
Whose
it's
house? Rams house.
Dean, who do you have winning?
He says the Rams.
He says Rams.
Rams.
He sniffed the microphone. He's not here. Just kidding. Okay. Before I just recap some scores from week one, just for time constraints. Dante, you have your good, bad, and ugly, or no?
No, not this week. I do not.
Not? That's okay.
My apologies.
No worries. Luke, you want to go with your fantasy stardom sit-em then?
Yeah, I have them ready. I kind of had to rush them. But let me also recap how last week's went, my picks. So last week, we did okay. Had a couple L's. I said start Jalen Hurts. He had 28 points. I said sit Aaron Rodgers. He had 16 points, which I'm considering a W because he was QB 11. So as long as you were in a 10-man league, you could have had someone better. So I'll consider it a W. And I told you to pick up Jared Goff off the waiver wire, and he had 14 points, so that's kind of fine. I said don't worry about it. Start Saquon Barkley. He had 23 points, huge W. I said sit Ezekiel Elliott. He had his first good game of the year. He had 15 points. I'll take my L. And I told you to pick up Jeff Wilson Jr. off the waiver wire. He had 12 points, so hopefully you listen to me. I told you to start Deebo Samuel because he was due and Jimmy G was back. This is kind of a small W. He had 13 points. He definitely should be better, but that's still worth a start, probably. I told you to sit Brandon Cooks. He had 4.2 points. That's a big W. And I told you to pick up Jahan Dotson, who sadly only had 3 points. But
He'll be back.
We all know that's on Carson Wentz, not on him. I told you to start Pat Freiermuth. He only had 6.1 points. So that's kind of an L. Another L, I told you to sit T.J. Hawkinson. He had his first good game. He had 11 points. L. And I told you to pick up Gerald Everett. He had 4.5 points, so wasn't too hot on the tight ends last week. But it's a new week, it's a new day, so let's pick stardom, sit-em, and waiver wire pickup for this week. This week at QB, start Justin Herbert, who was banged up and didn't have a great game last week, and that's why I kind of am able to say start him, even though it should be obvious. So what happened last week with the Chargers and the Jags, and he didn't have a very good game. It shouldn't happen very often, so don't let yourself get too rattled. I would still obviously start him. Sit Zach Wilson. He's coming back this week. You may be a little tempted, especially if you're in a larger league, to pick him up and start him. You think, oh, it could be sneaky. I'm ahead of the curve. He's going to have a good game, and people are going to want to pick him up. Just don't do it. It's the Jets. I would never bet on the Jets, on Zach Wilson. Hot take what I said earlier, he's a downgrade from Flacco. So we'll see. Could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Waiver wire pickup. Pick up Daniel Jones, actually, who's only rostered in 14% of leagues, but has consistently scored in the teens in fantasy, it's good for a backup quarterback. That's about what Tom Brady has, so if you look at it that way, I say pick up Daniel Jones. Running back, start Javonte Williams. He's coming off of 2 quiet weeks, under 10 points, but the Broncos' offense finally started to kind of run smoothly towards the end of the last game, and he's playing the Raiders, who allowed Derrick Henry to wake up this past week with 26 points. So I see something similar happening. Start Javonte Williams. And in the other locker room, sit Josh Jacobs. He had a good game last week, but don't be thrown off by that because Denver did not let San Francisco run very well, even though that's probably what they were leaning on with Jimmy G. So don't start Josh Jacobs. And waiver wire pickup from the Bears, pick up Khalil Herbert. I forgot to write what he's rostered and whatever.
Dude has been balling.
He had a 30-point week this week. And maybe he won't keep that up. I mean, nobody ever does. But it's worth your last bench spot. So moving into the wide receivers, I cannot believe I have to say this, boys, but I was a little crunched on time today, so I'm going with an easy one. Even though, still, it's worth saying. Start Justin Jefferson. He had 4 points this week. It's ridiculous, I know. But I mean, don't overthink this. It's Justin Jefferson. I'd rather start him and he has 4 points than sit him and he has 40 points. So don't be that guy. Just start him. And across the locker room, sit Adam Thielen for basically the opposite reasons. He had a decent game, his first decent game of the season. But things like this, they just never seem to continue. He's just going to keep staying inconsistent. And Justin Jefferson is just going to bounce back. It's just what's going to happen. And waiver wire pickup, Russell Gage. He's going to be a safety net for Tom Brady while they figure out their offensive issues. It's that simple. And injuries. Tight end, start Dallas Goedert, who he's been consistent so far, and their offense should do well against Jacksonville. Sit Dawson Knox for Buffalo. People have been saying he's due for his first touchdown of the year, but I say it would have happened already if Josh Allen liked him as a target this year. So just wait it out. Do not start Dawson Knox. And your waiver wire pickup is Robert Tonyan from Green Bay. Their offense is starting to figure itself out, and he had a decent week 3. So it couldn't hurt to pick him up, and that's all I got.
Nice.
All right. Before we recap some games or just some scores, why don't I, real quick, do my fantasy leaders of the week. So this is from week 3. Long time ago, considering the last time we've been here. So let's get right into it. The honorable mention for the week with 23 points against the Jets, we had Joe Burrow. Good bounce back game for him. Coming in at number 15, I will say, before I get into the top 15, there are 2 ties. So, first time that's happened this year. Number 15, 23.1 in a win against the Steelers, Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Dante.
It's okay.
14, my guy Chris Olave had 23.7 against my Panthers. I was conflicted because it was like, should I be happy or not? Because he's a Saint, but one of my favorite receivers in the NFL. So, good for Chris Olave. Number 13, another Brown, 23.9 for David Njoku. Number 12, 24.1 for Devin Singletary. You really never know what type of game he's going to have, but he had a good one this week. At number 11 with 24.5, we had Zay Jones against the Chargers. Number 10, we have a tie, both having 24.7. We had Jamal Williams against the Vikings, who will now be the running back one with DeAndre Swift out. And we had Russell Gage against the, not the Bucs, the Packers. I wrote that wrong. He's on the Bucs, but he had 24.7. Number 9, in a huge win, Trevor Lawrence, 25.18 fantasy points. Number 8, with 25.3, we had Derrick Henry, the king. Number 7, 26.7, even though we lost, he still had a great game, Josh Allen. Number 6, with 27.6, in a huge win, Jalen Hurts for the Eagles over the Commanders. Now to the top 5 with 28 on the dot against the Rams, Marquise Brown for the Cardinals. And number 4, with 29.9 against Luke's Patriots, we had Mark Andrews. And number 3, maybe a name you haven't heard of or haven't heard yet this season, with 29.96 for the Las Vegas Raiders against the Titans, we had a guy by the name of Mac Hollins. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of him before. Might have been the first or second time I've heard of his name. Number 2, we have a tie with 30.9 fantasy points. As Luke mentioned, Mr. Khalil Herbert, one of his waiver wire suggestions. He had 30.9 versus the Texans, and also having 30.9 in his win against the Commanders was Devontae Smith. And our winner for this week, 39.42 points against the Patriots, his second straight week as the number 1 scorer in fantasy, Lamar Jackson.
Dub.
Possible MVP season for Lamar.
Hey, man, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
You know I'm a Steeler fan. I hope he does well.
Anyway, maybe we just speed run through some scores here. I'll let you guys go in depth with your games a little bit here. But for some other scores, we had a crazy game in Miami. The Bills lost to the Dolphins 21-19. I watched the end of that game. It was crazy. Bengals rebounded, got their first win of the season. They really needed that. 27-12 over the Jets. Titans, close win, 24-22 over the Raiders. For a while, they had a very nice lead, but they held on. I'll let the Saints and Panthers and Ravens and Patriots hold on for a second so we can recap those individually. Vikings narrowly beat the Lions 28-24. Some very questionable decisions by Dan Campbell in the end, calling some timeouts, stopping the clock. You know all that. I found that really questionable. Lions fans don't want to talk about that. 24-8 was the final score. Eagles over Commanders. Should have picked the Eagles. That's okay.
Yep.
Colts with the shocker of the century, 20-17 at home over the Chiefs. Never saw that coming. In the battle of the snooze fest, we had the Bears winning 23-20 over the Texans at home. It wasn't a monsoon in Chicago this time, but they still got the win. Jaguars crushed the Chargers 38-10. That I can't believe that. That is so crazy. Rams won a very close game, 20-12 over the Cardinals in Arizona, where the Super Bowl is being played this year. Packers and Bucks, shockingly, kind of a snooze fest, maybe until the end. I was taking the Spanish quiz, so I didn't really watch that game. But the Packers won by 2, 14-12, as the Bucks failed to complete a 2-point conversion. Falcons, maybe the second snooze fest of the week, 27-23 over the Seahawks. I guess it was a high-scoring game, but still, I don't know who really tuned in to watch it. This was a snooze fest. I can't speak.
Really bad snooze fest.
Thank God I was watching Survivor instead of that. Best show, if you didn't know, by the way. Broncos over 49ers, 11-10. And believe it or not, it was not even a scoregami. If you don't know what a scoregami is, that means it's the first time ever that score has happened. That score happened one other time in 2008. They mentioned that. Crazy.
Only notable thing to come out of the game is Jimmy G joining the elite company of Dan Orlovsky.
Yes.
Stepping out of the back of the end zone.
And it might have been worse because after he stepped out, he threw a pick six.
Which
that didn't count
because it was a safety, but he's lucky it.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. And then Cowboys over Giants, 23-16. Daniel Jones took his first loss of the year. Threw a game-losing interception to Trayvon Diggs. And that's how it worked. Anyway, let's all go over our individual games and we'll call it an episode. Who wants to start? Dante, Luke, or me?
I'll start since my game was first.
Steelers and Browns on Thursday night. Dante, give us your thoughts.
Now, first half, offense looked pretty good. Scored 2 touchdowns. George Pickens made a top 5 catch of all time.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Absolutely insane catch. I hope that proves that we should utilize him more. But it's just the lack of pass rush and the deterioration of run defense from the Steelers. And play calling in the second half. We lost our tempo. We did drop 17 points, but you can't let up 29 points a game and expect to win. You just can't.
Although I will say it looks a little worse than it was because the
Yeah.
final score probably could have been 23-17.
Yeah.
No difference because the last play was
Facts.
technically a touchdown. But
Either way, though, we still lost, and hopefully we can pick it up this week against the Jets because after that we have a tough road ahead. But yeah, Steelers lose. Kind of expected it. Still bummed out about it, though.
You can go ahead first, Luke.
all right, so the Patriots. I actually really enjoyed watching this game. I'll be honest, until the fourth quarter. It was an entertaining game.
It was very
Patriots Ravens is always a battle. I like watching that matchup. I really do. I thought Mac Jones played well on. I'm not gonna keep saying until the fourth quarter. From here on out, it's implied. I thought Mac Jones played well. Devontae Parker exploded for a career high. I don't even know what. I think like 160 yards. The play calling was decent. It was fine. The defense played well enough. We actually really got the ball moving at certain points in the game. We really did. We held our own for most of the game. We could not shut down Lamar no matter what we did, though. We really did blitz well, but here's the thing: Lamar has been responding to the blitz from every matchup this year brilliantly. That's why I think he's my MVP pick this year.
So far, anyway.
So even though we blitzed really well, I thought, got a couple sacks in, he responded to it very, very well, as I expected him to. So we probably should have dropped back a little more. Maybe could have gotten some more turnovers. I forget if we even had one interception. I think maybe one. But then the fourth quarter came, and I don't know exactly what happened, but at least 2 of the interceptions were Mac Jones' fault. There was at least one where it was just he aired it out. One was in the back of the end zone. You just can't do that. We're supposed to be a decent team. I think we could have had a shot to be a decent team this year. Now, in the last play of the game, Mac gets crushed by some 500-pound offensive lineman or defensive lineman, and whatever it was, high ankle sprain. He gets carried to the locker room screaming in pain, and that image becomes a meme, which I thought was a little disrespectful, but it doesn't really matter. It kind of was a funny picture.
Very disrespectful.
Well, it was kind of a funny picture, but either way, for what was such a good game, in my opinion, with so many bright spots early on, it quickly unraveled into something that I want to act like never happened. Really, really bad fourth quarter collapse. Not that we were even winning the game, but we certainly had a shot until the end. Mac ended up with 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, even though he did run for his first career touchdown. That was fun. For at least 10 minutes, I got to make jokes about how he's a better mobile quarterback than Lamar. But I just want to kind of forget that the ending happened. Really, really bad. Tough to watch. We just completely fell apart, and it's not like that was the worst of it. Now we're going to be without Mac Jones for... Here's what I can get into. So it's a high ankle sprain, I believe. I believe he's having surgery.
Last I saw, they were weighing the options, but I'm sure.
Well, here's what weighing the options means. I saw that Bill Belichick in the front office, they want him back in 4 weeks, but Mac Jones and doctors want him to have surgery and be out for 6 to 8 weeks. I say give him that 6 to 8. Knowing the Patriots, I'm worried that something like that isn't going to happen. And I love Mac Jones. I know he's no top 10 quarterback in the league right now, and that's what worries me. Guys like Carson Wentz were great when they were young, and they were consistently rushed back from injuries. I don't want Mac Jones to have a injury-ridden career, or even have a career that falls apart early because of injuries like this. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I think that there's a shot that I'm not. And luckily, I think as I mentioned earlier, we have the Packers, but then we have a kind of easy slate of games while Mac Jones is out. So we'll see. Knowing the Patriots, I'm sure we'll ride with Brian Hoyer. Eventually, hopefully, we give Bailey Zappi a shot. In my wildest dreams, do we trade for Gardner Minshew or something? But I'll probably just settle into expecting mediocrity for the next couple weeks and hope to see some flashes of something that could be good and build towards next year. But I kind of went off on a tangent about the future because of Mac Jones. But that's all I have to say about this week. Yeah, I went off on too long of a tangent. That's my bad, Adam. It's your turn.
Brian Hoyer, let's ride. Okay. I had to do that, sorry. Moving on to my Panthers victory over the Saints. I can't remember the last time I said that. It was Arizona last year. 9-game losing streak. Over. Thank God. I've been waiting for that. But anyway, let's recap the game. Jameis, even though he had 353 passing yards, touchdown, he threw 2 picks. He did not look like himself. Alvin Kamara, 15 carries for 61 yards, also did not look like himself. He had a fumble, which was recovered by Marquise Haynes and ran into the end zone. That's how the game started. I guess Chris Olave, like I said, 9 receptions, 147 yards, had a very good game. 4 receptions, 105 yards for Traquan Smith. Michael Thomas did not do much. Jarvis Landry, I forget he's even on that team, unfortunately, because he didn't do that much either. Moving on to the Panthers. Defense played very, very well. Props to the defense. Offense, though, you got to pick it up. Baker, another meh week. 12 for 25, 170 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Did not throw an interception, but that's not the point. You got to be a little better than that, Baker. 12 for 25 is not that great. However, it could be a lot worse. Could be Sam Darnold, but, you know. CMC, another 100-yard rushing game. Didn't have a touchdown, but that's all right. DJ Moore, you need to feed that man the ball. 1 reception for 2 yards. 2 carries on rushing for 13 yards. You need to feed that man the rock. Please. Although 1 receiving highlight I will show. And I guess if this wasn't taken for like a 70-yard touchdown, Baker would have like 103 yards passing. Whatever. Laviska Shenault. What an acquisition he was. And he showed it this week. 2 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. One of them was a 76-yard touchdown, I believe. Give him the ball and let him do the rest. He was better than Robbie Anderson this week. He was our best receiver. And then, beyond that, props to the defense. Props to Eddie Pinheiro, 3 for 3 on field goals. Longest was 48. Johnny Hecker, good job punting. Appreciate it, man. Let's hope to get a big win next week against the Cardinals, boys. But for now, great first win of the season. It's what you'd love to see at home against a division rival, nonetheless. But anyway, boys, anything else we want to say before we call it?
I think we're good.
Luke?
Yeah, we've covered it.
All right. Let's call it there. That's going to be it for episode 3 of the Weekly Gridiron. A bit of a shorter episode this week, but that was also because some stuff we usually do wasn't featured.
Fine. We said all we needed to say.
Absolutely.
We don't want to keep you guys tied to YouTube for the longest time listening to us, even though we love your listening. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. Adam,
Dante,
and Luke. We will see you guys hopefully on a Monday next week for Week 4 recap and Week 5 preview. See you guys then.